Well, let's see here. We're going to do part 2 of the upstairs. These are serpentine stairs, not helical stairs. The difference being that they can curve left, curve right, just follow any kind of path you want. Basically the same forms. They hung from the top, and they have a block that sits against the floor in the bottom. And we're going to use fiber in this along with the rebar, because they're very thin out here at the edge. And one of the features of this arrangement is we have a view from the top that you see going up, but we also have a point of interest on the bottom. It's sort of like a backbone or whatever of the thing. I just didn't want really plain. Just trying to make this twisted smooth curve with the forms is really hard. We learned our lesson on the helical stairs. We're not going to ever do that again. Okay. What we're looking at now is sort of the top view of the forms. The trick that makes this thing work is this V shape here. It lets the a step, it's easier to see on this first one down here. See, this would be the nose of the second step right here. That's how far it fits up underneath of the second step. So that's where your support is this big thick section over here. It gets really thick towards the center. I think this has 15 treads in it. 196, 102 inches height. And we're also going to have a couple extra treads because we're going to put one of these out there by the dirty kitchen. Same thing. Well, let's see. Moving on along. Once you get a module that you can repeat, you just lay it out flat. In our case, we have 6 pieces to the section. At the top up here, we have rebars that go right through the form and out the other side. They'll be sticking out like 1 inch on both sides, and that lets us the rebars that go down around the curve. They'll come up underneath this first one over here, get tied to it. That's what holds the rebar suspended in the thing. It has to duck through this line right here. That's running parallel, so it won't have a lot of cover right there. And then you have a stirrup rebar, which I haven't even bothered to draw. It's like anybody else's. He wraps around these and bends into the bottom and bends going uphill up here. Also on this, you notice we got where to drill the screw holes. This is because we're using it more than once, and because it saves laying it out. You lay it out one time on the drawing, and then you use it 15 times. Seems like it's economical to me. And of course, the bottom step being that it has to meet the floor. It's thicker at the back, and the top one's got the surface leveled off. There's nothing that follows the uphill part. So once you get a bunch of parts, then yeah, getting old. There it is. Okay, we have here 3, 6, 7 sheets of phenolic board. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 treads here. If you needed more, you get 2 treads out of each sheet. Let's see here. Probably this one. There's a little wasted space here and here. But generally, what we do is we go come in here with a circular saw and cut over there, and then sort of plunge cut it in here and back up and go forward. Cut across here, cut across there, cut across here. Getting an idea, right? And this will be gone, so you can go up into here and cut this one out, and then you cut this. That's gone, so you can come up here and cut that out. And you get handleable pieces that you can either cut with a jigsaw, or my wife uses a bandsaw. Leaves a nice finish, and she likes using the bandsaw. the circular saw is heavier than she wants to deal with. You know, she's over 80, so. But the bandsaw, she's got 2 sizes of them. We have the big one, 18-inch in throat, and then a small 9-inch one. It's Craftsman from, well, I guess it was built in the 1970s. The other one's fairly new. We've only had it about 10 or 12 years. She made out the window and door bucks, round top things. It's done like this with multiple pieces that overlap. The first thing we were looking at was the actual stairs. This is the form. Probably shove this out of the way. Truth be told, the stairs that we were looking at is not the stairs for this form. This is the form that we're going to use for the upstairs, from the mezzanine to the roof. You know, all the tops of everything of the roofs are flat. It's all living space. More outdoor living space than there is inside. A good bit more, actually. Let's just sort of look down in this thing here someplace. So you can see that V that fits into the next step. There's a place that overlaps down here. We can put a couple screws in there. Not shown, just because I'm lazy. It's corner block, so it'll be a 2x2 corner block here, and it'll be screwed from through this blue piece into the back of the corner block, and that's like 3 screws. And then the faceplate here for the riser, that gets screwed on from the front, and that's got 4 screws. And you take these riser things off as you assemble it, and let you lay your rebar down in this curved tray affair. We will probably stick some cocoa lumber on these blue pieces down to the floor to pour it, but that after 28 days we'll take them off, because it won't make any difference. It's self-supporting. The blue things here, this is for a 5/8 threaded rod that comes through the ceiling up above. Those are already in the floor. The holes are in the floor, so we don't have to drill anything and try to miss rebar for 34 hangers. Originally, these vertical paths were outside of the steps. The steps had like an angler not laying underneath of this that with two split set collars on them, and that lets you clamp it to these vertical rungs, and they went from under the floor to the top of the mezzanine floor, and it made like a round cage around this thing. And then we got to thinking, we have a window over here to the right, and yeah. The window's over here, and I didn't want to block the light. We're into natural daylight. We don't, we want to make sure the house is halfway bright. Anyway, we're gonna put these 5/8 rods up there, and they sell a stainless steel tube, pretty thin wall, which is good because it costs less, and we don't need it for any structure. What it is they roll shapes into the outside of it, and people use these things like on procession carriages and such. They're not too awful hard to get. You can get it in brass, but they're really expensive because brass is expensive, especially in the Philippines. But we're going to either do that or put a cover on out of like Schedule 40, or even Schedule 20 is easy to get in the Philippines, like a 1-inch pipe, and black it out, paint it black. But anyway, we've changed now to we're going to hang this. The threaded rods are going to come through the same place, top to bottom, because the hole is in the ceiling. But it's going to go right through this tread. So there'll be one here in the middle. Like you can see this one here. It goes. This is all concrete in here, so it's going to go through this inside part of this tread, and then the back side of the tread below it, and then the nut will be on the bottom. And there's you can see up here, barely, is almost on the screen. There's another one that goes through top to bottom through both pieces, so sort of bolts them together. If it was cracked, it would still hold it together because you're going to put a nut on both sides. So there's 1, 2, 3 for hangers per tread. So it's a triangle. It's self-supporting, and they go through the second step, either the one above or the one below. So that sort of doubles up the coverage you got. The bottom, has no bottom. What we're going to do down here, we're going to put a piece of polyethylene on the floor and then set this up. Now this one, you don't see any screw holes here. I didn't bother putting them on. Well, they're not in this drawing at all. Also, this drawing has an error. This facing board is actually kicked out 2 inches at the top. It tilts. It's got a toe kick in it. And you can see that in the parts when we look at the parts. But we're going to put a 2x2s on these 5 bottom pieces, and a couple nails into the floor or whatever. Keep it from sliding around. But the polyethylene is there. There'll be a couple dowel pins of rebar down here, but not many. If there's a really bad earthquake, this thing is free to scoot along the floor a little bit. You can make things strong, but you can't make them totally rigid. It doesn't work. The native Amakan houses and the squatters' shacks, they come through typhoons much better than solid construction. That's the tray for the top step. The difference being, well, this would come up to a point up here, a slope, because it's going uphill. This thing is slanted, and this would go up to meet the slanted one sitting on top of it. So this piece is different because the top is clipped off. The rest of the pieces in here turn out to be the same. One of the design features was to get the the weight down. If you were putting the concrete stairs in a wood house, you really don't want a lot of weight. At least I wouldn't. I don't know about the rest of the world. This is the form from the bottom. And you can more clearly see that on the outside edge we have 1, 2, 3 support rods and dowel pins. And this space here we can measure on we have a actual drawing of the house as built, and we could measure this, but it's like 8 inches, something like that. It's too wide for OSHA code. It has to be under 4. But we're not building to OSHA codes. We live in the Philippines. OSHA wants to build a house, let them build their own. And of course, this bottom tread, it's full height here because there's nothing slanting up to make it less. This we're trying to get this profile thin, but you can see that it's not a flat bottom, it's sort of an undulating bottom where the rebar goes. But having these ones across the stair tread, that's like putting the rebar on the top of a slab. I think we'll look, maybe this is what I want. Okay, this is the stairs for the mezzanine going up to the roof. Now it looks like 4.76. That's less than 5 inches of tread width on the inside. But that's not the usable part of the step, because you have these rods coming down through here. This inside would actually pass code, I believe. The outside won't. So you can't put your foot where that rod is. So you're really looking at a width out here, which, I don't know, it's 6 inches or something. It's not really usable for going down. It's usable for going up. Down here at the bottom, we're looking at 20.17. 20 3/16. And again, you can't use that full width because you have these rods going through there. The vertical support rods. These stairs here, they got a 49-inch nose on the step. Now, the blue one in the picture we were looking at, well, that's not it. To be sure, I've not thrown it away. Yeah. Okay. This one, the usable part of the steps is what the dimensions are. Because these pins here are dowel pins for the forms. This is all concrete. Because the rods on this type here, this is an outside staircase, and we want where we're going to put by the dirty kitchen, and we want to have that floor to ceiling pipe making the cage around it, and we'll probably add a couple of on this side here. Intermediates to get them down to below 6 inches. Want them wide enough that the neighborhood kids can't get their heads stuck in it, but big enough that an adult can't climb in it. Now we need is a security gate across the bottom of the stairs, because this will give access to the whole top of the house. All you have to do is walk through the dirty kitchen, and you're in. 34 and 3/4 basically. With steps on here. This is only for outdoor access to the top of the dirty kitchen. We're going to have some, what do you call it? There's round tables with the seat thing around it and a beach umbrella on them. She always wants to sell food, and I don't want to pour a separate place. Out of sight is out of mind, you know. And the dirty kitchen is like 16 feet by 26, so she could have like 6 tables up there, and this is access to get up to it. But there's 2 completely different staircases here. One's 3 treads higher. This one here is 3 treads higher, and but they all look alike from a distance. Now this V on the back that makes it work being thin. You can put this a particular tread box together backwards, mirror image. So you could come up here and make a curve, then flip it and make the curve go the other way for a while, and that's why I call them serpentine stairs. Now, if you wanted a smooth transition, this V shape back here, you could connect these 2 ends and that. You circle through 3 points, and that would give you something that can swivel around, and you could really make a serpentine. Like if it's a garden path or something like that, where you have to come down from a road and you need a lot more treads. You need more run than the site allows. Well, you can snake it back and forth like ribbon candy or something, or whatever shape you want. Follow around flower beds or landscaping and go around a tree, something to keep you in the shade. So you can cover a lot of ground for a lot of run. Is that all there is about this? That might be. I think this is a flat drawing. I don't think there's any 3D to it. Where's the one with the stair tread? I'm trying to make this not too terrible damn long.